From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. We're getting ready for today's episode. Welcome to the CyberHub podcast Practitioner Brief. We're talking about risk, impact, and mitigation of the latest cybersecurity vulnerabilities, threats, headlines, and so forth. We'll cut through the noise, get right into what the practitioners need to know, folks. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, although I'm not seeing the stream on LinkedIn yet. So we're working on getting that fixed, folks. But thank you for everyone who's tuning in this morning. Let's get right into what we're going to talk about today, including several patches from Google around Android and Chrome, a new Chinese spyware, and an NSA alert on Kubernetes, as well as a Bipartisan report released yesterday that's not in the headlines, but really should be. So we'll check that out as well. Before we do that, though, our traditional coffee cup cheers this morning. My double espresso, something I cannot live without. Love my espressos. They're just my driving force in life. Coffee cup cheers, folks. All right, let's get right into what's going on here with Google patching high-risk Android security flaws. So Google has released two versions of this. The first one is the August 1st patch. The next one is the August 5th patch. All address a serious vulnerability within the media framework that could lead to elevation of privilege on Android 8.1 and 9 devices, or information disclosure on Android 10 and 11. The issues tracked the CVE 2021-0519. The most severe of these issues is a high security vulnerability in the media framework component that could enable a local malicious application to bypass operating system protections that isolate applications data from other applications. So here's where this is critical for practitioners. Take your Android device, take your Android device, try it, get this vulnerability taken advantage of. They can move laterally within the device. They can get into corporate data, email, apps, or anything that's on the Android device. And from there, they can escalate privileges. They can launch arbitrary code, a bunch of different things. So the next patch, which comes out on 0805, has 24 different vulnerabilities. So your Android devices need to be updated today. Set an alert. Get it done again on Friday. For those asking, there's an issue with LinkedIn's live streaming. We're working on getting that fixed. However, I'm not optimistic. We'll upload this video to LinkedIn momentarily as well. We'll continue moving forward to our next story of the day, a new Chinese spyware that's being used in a widespread cyber espionage attack that's been targeting Mongolia, Russia, Belarus, Canada, and the US from January to July of this year. It involves the deployment of a remote access Trojan on infected systems, according to new research. The intrusion has been attributed to an advanced persistent threat named APT31, according to FireEye. It's got a bunch of different monikers. Microsoft's given it one, CrowdStrike, and so has others. But we're going to stick with FireEye APT31. The group is a China Nexus cyber espionage actor focused on obtaining information that can provide the Chinese government and state-owned enterprises with political, economic, and military advantages, according to FireEye. The malicious codes comes with the capacity to download other malware, potentially putting affected victims at further risk, as well as perform file operations, exfiltrate sensitive data, and even delete itself from the compromised machine. Keep your eye out for that. The code for processing the self-delete command is particularly intriguing. All the created files and registry keys are deleted using a BAT file, according to Positive Technology researchers Denis Kushnikov, and Daniil Kuliskov. Apologize for botching your names, gentlemen. Also worthy of particular note is the malware similarities to that of a Trojan named Dropbox AES RAT that was put to use by the same threat actor last year. in what we disclosed at the time was a Dropbox challenge. So keep your eye out for that. It is bound to be there. We'll move on to our next story, folks. Hackers and cyber criminals are targeting Kubernetes to steal data and processing power. The NSA has released a full report on Kubernetes hardening guide, an excellent one. I'll be posting it on my personal LinkedIn page and the CyberHub podcast LinkedIn. You'll see the entire report there. Go and check it out. Definitely some great tips on how to harden your Kubernetes and how attacks are being taken advantage of. Something very worthy of your attention this morning, folks. Google also patches additional Chrome flaws that could be exploited in malicious extensions. The Chrome 92 update released this week by Google patches 10 vulnerabilities, including several high-severity flaws that earned researchers tens of thousands of dollars in bug bounties, and including the folks over at Li Crasso and Guang Gong of the 360 Alpha Lab team of the Chinese cybersecurity firm Qihu 360 earned $20,000 for the high severity vulnerability tracked to CVE 2021-305990. And this might be one of the last times they'll be able to do that. A new Chinese law is in place now preventing cybersecurity researchers within China to report the vulnerabilities to the manufacturer directly. They have to report it first to the Chinese government, and then only then will they be given permission to share it with the manufacturer if the manufacturer is foreign. If it's local Chinese, one can assume that there will be other things there as well. There's more. We've noted last week that Google's new bug bounty program has old bug bounty program paid over $30 million over 10 years. It's about $3 million a year. You see people are making some really good money putting out these vulnerabilities. So shout out to them for doing this great work. And finally, a bipartisan reports finds agencies plagued by cyber woes. Several major federal agencies continue to fail to address recurring cybersecurity vulnerabilities and implement basic standards that would protect the public's sensitive information, according to a bipartisan congressional investigation. This investigation was issued yesterday by the Senate Homeland Security Committee, found that despite years of warning, agencies such as State Education, Agriculture, HHS, which stands for Health and Human Services, have not established effective cybersecurity programs or complied with federal information security standards. Only Homeland Security Department created an effective information security program through CISO, of course. Senator Portman, who's the panel's top Republican, said that the report shows a sustained failure to address cybersecurity vulnerabilities at our federal agencies and failure that leaves national security and sensitive personal information open to theft and damaged by sophisticated threat actors. The newly minted report, which studied the fiscal 2020 Inspector General evaluation of 80 agencies, included the Transportation and Housing and Urban Development Departments and Social Security Administration, is a follow-up to one that Portman, then chair of the panel's permanent subcommittee on investigations, issued. A few of the highlights of the report states left thousands of accounts active on both its classified and unclassified networks after employees left agencies. Transportation couldn't account for more than 14,000 IP assets, including 7,000 mobile devices, nearly 5,000 servers, and close to 3,000 workstations. Agriculture had vulnerabilities on the agency's public-facing websites that were unknown to the agency, and education auditors were able to exfiltrate hundreds of files containing sensitive PII, including 200 credit card numbers, without the department even noticing. You can see the full report here below. The link is right there. The ranking member is Rob Portman. Gary Peters is the chairman, and this is a staff report by the United States Senate, a worthy read if you have the chance to look it over. Folks, that's it for our practitioner brief today. Apologize. Our folks over at LinkedIn who might be watching this later, there's an issue with LinkedIn. It's on LinkedIn's end. We were unable to live stream to them, but we'll be back again here tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm also happy to announce that every third Friday of the month, Alan Alford and I will be together right here live at 11 a.m. taking all your questions for the CISOs and talking about the most pressing topics once a month, third Friday of every month. Put that on your calendars, August 20th, 11 a.m. Alan Alford and I will be right here. I've also got a new webinar coming up that's very, very exciting with the awesome, the magnificent Roger Grimes. We're going to be talking about hacking MFA and showing you how MFA can be hacked and how you can harden your MFA environment. You don't want to miss that as well, especially with all the attention being on MFA. If you missed our episode yesterday, make sure to check it out in the show notes. It'll be right here in just a few moments. Until then, thank you so much for watching today's podcast, folks. We'll be back with a lot more tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Smile, relax. It's Wednesday. Just a few more days to Friday for many of you. But for all of us, it's just another really big day in our battle to keep our organizations and our data secure. Till tomorrow, folks, have a great rest of the day and stay cyber safe. Cheers.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.